Hello, it's May 3rd, 2012. Let's get to it here. From St. Patrick to Trinity Mission Statement, we, the Catholic community of St. Patrick, are disciples of Jesus Christ. As a steward of His gospel, we are companions on a common journey to God. We are committed to welcome one another to actively participate in worship and service. We strive to be like our patron, St. Patrick, and be messengers of God, word to the Temple Bay area, Tampa Bay area. And having said that, that's the front. I'd like to show you this portrait. Now, isn't this pretty? That's this Sunday. Let's see what Father Angelus has to say today. We had a great weekend. I know I did. I spent mine at some nightclubs, watching some movies. Speaking of which, don't forget to say Happy Father's Day sooner or later. Square yourselves away, you'll be alright. I was watching Whale Wars the other night. They're doing pretty good hunting. Keeping prevention from whales. Let's see here. Father Angelus writes, my dear friends in Jesus, I am writing this column on Tuesday, May 29th. In the mail today came the letter from Bishop Lennox appointing Father James Engert, COR, pastor of St. Patrick Parish, effective June 8, 2012. I've been preparing for Father Jim's coming this entire month of May. I have moved from the pastor's quarter in the friar's quarter downstairs where Father Colin lived after his retirement. I'm still working on moving my office and office to the friar. In the friar, next week will be the final time I will write a pass as pastor. All this is bittersweet for me, and I'm profoundly happy that Father Jim is coming. He is a wonderful priest and will be a great pastor for this parish. Different parishes have different styles, so I expect that we will see some differences in his vision and leadership. However, I believe it will be a very good parish. I am happy that I shall remain here residing in this parish and assisting as I am able to do. I want to thank each of you for your wonderful cooperation and support during some very trying years for the parish. I expect that the parish will never fully recover from the loss of the school. It was such an integral part of the operation life of the parish. However, we are seeing now many parishes are struggling with the same issues that closed St. Patrick's School. Together, we have begun to make the necessary adjustments, and the parish is once again growing with younger families joining weekly and outstanding religious education programs. Our Rail Ed program has been developing, and I believe we are entering into a more mature phase that will really be a bedrock for our children's families. Also, the options for Catholic school education are still open for parishioners. And the parish administration has been always very delighted to assist the families and those expenses to the best of our ability. I am grateful for outstanding parish staff. This means wonderful men and women are committed to St. Patrick's Parish will have the opportunity to serve here. Many of them could earn higher salaries in other work situations, but they choose to remain here because you, please continue, let them know you appreciate their service. I want to thank everyone who has chosen to serve in parish ministry. Many of these individuals spent hours each week offering the Lord's service to His people. I am grateful for His service. Faith is defined not so much as what a person believes, but how a person puts that belief into practice. The gospel tells us that love of God is defined to the degree on one shows love to one's neighbor. Many that always be the characteristic of the parish that goes without saying. For example, be kind to others. It says that in the Bible somewhere. What chapter is that? You'll eventually find it, trust me. It's when you're finding something you can't find. And then when you're not looking for it, it I especially want to thank everyone who has chosen to serve in parish ministry. Many of these individuals spend hours each week offering to the Lord service to His people. I am grateful for all this service. Faith is defined not so much what a person believes, but how a person puts that belief into practice. The gospel tells us that love of God is defined to the degree one shows love to one's neighbor again. May that always be the characteristic of His parish. I especially want to thank parishioners who labored so hard to help us come from parishioners of serious debt and being debt-free and able to begin restoring the building and campus. Soon I will believe we all will be amazed at how beautiful our campus really is. In my column next week, I hope to reflect to you with some of the spiritual values that define our parish as I move to take one another role amongst you. I want to encourage you to continue our spiritual development and continue to make St. Patrick's Parish a home for God's holy family. In His love, Father Angelus. Father Angelus is been a father and a pastor of a church for a very long time, and he's going into retirement. However, he'll still be at the church. That's where, in case some of you missed that part, that's where Father Coleman, let me see here, Father Jim will be moving in. Normally, most churches at a Catholic church have more than 3, or at least 3 minimum. And going on to Father Stan writes this weekend, for almost 20 years, the Catholic bishops in the United States have been advocating universal health care. Not long ago, the U.S. Congress and U.S. Senate are elected representatives presented to the President a bill that subscribes to a philosophy of universal health care, which is the President signed into law. The bill is a 2,000-page document that spells out the implementation of health care bill. Within this 4-ream document is authorization for the unelected government-appointed Secretary of Health and the Human Service to implement the bill as the Secretary sees fit. The bill mandates ensures the supply of birth control devices and contraceptives, vasectomy, sterilization, and inducing drugs. During the 51-week debate in both houses of Congress, an argument was made for the insertion of a conscience clause. We talked about this on CNN, ABC Night News, The Word, as to why this may not seem fair to a Catholic church. During the 51-week debate in both houses of Congress, an argument was made to the insertion of a conscience clause so not to infringe upon the First Amendment right to the religious liberty. This is not being honored. The Catholic Church's position on moral teachings is long-standing, consistent. All life is sacred. The mandates violates Catholic fundamental moral beliefs. Our beliefs is on this subject stemming from teaching of Jesus and the long-held faith of the Jewish people centuries before him. 43 dioceses, many Catholic schools, hospitals, social services agencies, and other institutions have filed federal lawsuits to stop 3 government agencies from implementing the government mandate which violates Catholic religious beliefs: Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Labor, and the Department of Treasury. Under the Health and Human Services mandates, employers must provide insurance coverage that includes abortion inducing drugs, as well as concentrative devices, sterilization procedures. The requirement to fund and facilitate such activities violates Catholic core religious and moral convictions. The law seeks to have lawsuits seek to have the mandates declared unconstitutional and enjoin the government from enforcing the requirement despite repeated requests from church leaders. The government has insisted that it will not change the core principle of the U.S. government mandate. The plaintiff must subsidize and facilitate provide their employees free access to drug and services. If the government can force religious institutions to violate their beliefs in such a manner, there is no apparent limit to the government's power. Concentration mandate to the government power. The concentration mandate to the government power again. The Constitution mandate unconstitutionally authorizes the federal government to determine which organizations are sufficiently religious to warrant exemption from the requirement. This regulation is a violation of the religious liberties guaranteed by the First Amendment, the Religious Freedom and Restoration Act, and other federal laws. The only exemption to the mandate is that a religious institution hire and serve only its own members. For example, if institutions hire serve only its own members, for example, it's a Catholic hospital or university institution must only hire Catholic employees and serve only Catholic patients or students in direct violation of the gospel mandated to go out all the world and spread the good news to every nation. Please pray for our government, our elected representatives, our president. Also pray for our bishops. The Catholic Church in America may continue to practice her faith unobstructed by government mandate. Father Stan Holy, St. Patrick's Church. And just in case you didn't know, in 1634, a mix of Catholic and Protestant settlers arrived in South Maryland from England aboard the Ark and the Dove. They had come on the invitation of Catholic Lord Baltimore, who had been granted the land by the Protestant King Charles I of England. While Catholics and Protestants were killing each other in Europe, Lord Baltimore imagined Maryland as a society where people of different faiths could live together peacefully. This vision was soon codified in Maryland's 1649 Act concerning religion, also called the Tolerant Act, which was the first law in our nation's history to protect individual rights to freedom of conscience. Maryland's early history teaches us that, like any freedom, religious liberty requires constant vigilance, protection, or it will disappear. There we go. Ta-da! Ain't that a pretty Windows Hill? At the Trinity, you can see it. It's right there in New York. Carrying on, military personnel. Have you ever read this paper today? Something seriously wrong with you. Wrong with you. Do we need Good Morning Vietnam to help you, motivate you in the right direction? Going on the last Memorial Weekend, check this out. Now, if this ain't inspirational for a photo, I don't know what to tell you. You might as well, I don't know, eat your Wheaties, get up in the morning, you'll be alright. Motivate yourself for PT. Because while you're motivating yourself for PT, like I tell my sister at 2, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., y'all can enjoy knowing that while you're running 10 miles. Trying to keep up with the pace. As you could see. Members of Team MacDill salute during the singing of the national anthem at MacDill Air Force Base. May 28th, MacDill hosted its annual Memorial Day ceremony honoring the men and women who gave their lives while serving in the nation's armed forces. Now that's a big salute from a squared away colonel. I'm sure Colonel Lenny Rinketts was in there somewhere, as you can see. Carrying on. Today's comics. Actually, it was last week's comics. I found one that was particularly funny. Garfield's staring at a dog, right? The dog's barking his head off. Ding! He hears an alarm. Quitting time. And then Garfield turns around and looks at him again. He puts on his shades. He says, "Sup, dude?" Garfield replies, "Oddness." "Yeah, Billy, you carrying on. You wanted to see me, sir?" Says Sarge. "Yes," the Colonel says. "But I wish you'd leave your work outside." It shows Sarge beating the living daylights out of Billy, stepping on below while he was dining at his front desk. I hope you have a great week. Remember this. God bless you, especially the children of this world. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. May peace be amongst you wherever you are in the world. After all, be at peace. Be kind to others as they unto you. And how far to go out here? I can tell.